Game number 5.
Alright guys, here we go. We have ThorZaIN just recently all-killed QuanticIM in the first best of 9, spawning at the 9 o'clock position. He is our Teal Terran. The map is Shattered Temple. And over yonder, across the way, we have his opponent, QuanticIM's Horror, who just won with an all-in against Mana. Knocked him out after his victory.
Yes, indeed. So here we are, and this is—I just want to say that this tournament has been a pleasure to cast and be a part of. I remember back in April when I was first contacting IGN, the IPL, and before I was given a job here or anything like that, I was already promoting. I was like, guys, you need to do a team event. You need to do a team event. There's just not that many organizations doing them in the West right now, and they can be huge. And so it's just really awesome that something like this has come to fruition, a $10,000 tournament like this. And if you guys have enjoyed it, once again, we have a $20,000 double the teams Team Arena Challenge Season 2 starting next month.
I cannot wait for that.
That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be sweet. And we're going to have an influx of new teams as well, because I believe we have 4 open qualifier spots.
Yep,
for that tournament.
I believe the plan is, and this is all subject to change, guys, so, but I believe the plan is we're going to invite 12 teams, and as you mentioned, we're going to hold a couple of open qualifiers and pull the top 4 teams from those open qualifiers.
There it is.
Going
to get some new blood in the mix.
Yeah, and so everyone can compete.
There it is.
Alright, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as QuanticIM Horror is showing very fast expansion. That will go unchallenged. ThorZaIN, on the other hand, is getting gas. Now, I expected a conventional, some sort of a reactored Hellion expand the last time we saw him do this. He threw us for a loop and went after Reapers. So we'll see if that gets changed now, or if he's going to go right into those nice early Hellions.
Drone just being a little bit of a pest, denying some mining here, taking a few pod shots at the SCVs. ThorZaIN not reacting, though.
As drones are wont to do.
Exactly.
And there it is. It is a tech lab coming up for ThorZaIN. So he's going to move right back into tech lab barracks. And he is slowly appears to be moving away from Hellions in the early part of the game.
Yeah, he's going to get 1 Reaper out here right off the bat. Still no second depot for him, and that's actually interesting with this build, since you're not producing Marines the whole time, or you don't have Hellions to produce either. You can get that command center up about 100 resources earlier and forego that second depot if that's what he chooses to do.
Sure.
And it looks like that is exactly what he's choosing to do.
There's 400, there's the patrolling SUV, and there's a command center. So that's coming up, and he'll throw down his next supply depot immediately. See if he builds a second Reaper, or if that's going to change here in just a second. Looks like it's actually nothing here for the short term. 6 Lings plus 2 Queens coming out now for Mr. Horror, and nothing too out of the ordinary, as he is starting to get gas now. Will have speed in, it's actually going to be quite a while.
ThorZaIN going to jump up into the main here with the first Reaper. Making his way onto the creep, a little bit risky, needs to be careful. He does get a scout off though, he sees the 8 Lings.
Takes a second hit right there, but not a big deal. And the Lings are just running back and forth. ThorZaIN actually just messing with them at the moment, as he knows he's not going to jump down quite yet. May decide to play with the ramp here a little bit, but more than anything, I would imagine he's just going to tuck himself back away, possibly up this little gap.
Yeah, and he's just being so careful right now with this Reaper. Actually kiting the Queen on and off creep.
And looks like after this, he's going to move right into a factory and a barracks that'll probably swap here in just a second, I would imagine. Something similar to what we saw him do before. Yes, indeed. And so we are going to have a few reactored Hellions and early upgrades for his bio.
All right. Well, I like the build thus far out of ThorZaIN. The only thing I think he's really suffering is supply at the moment, just because he wasn't chain building Marines off the barracks. But it's going to catch up quickly now that he has that reactor producing Hellions. He has the option to build Marauders as well if he wants.
Certainly.
We'll just have to see which direction he decides to take the build. He could go for some aggression as well. It really just depends. He's going to get a count on all the drones here with his Reaper from the back if he decides to send that in.
And it looks like he is, as a matter of fact. So runs it in. And, Horror, though, actually sees everything that's going on for ThorZaIN. Sees the next factory, sees the barracks coming up after that as well. Or, I'm sorry, sees the next factory, sees a factory. We actually have a macro CC coming up for ThorZaIN as well.
Super early macro CC at that.
Yeah, it is. That was started at just after 5 minutes.
Yeah. So he's going to be on 3 orbitals here very early on in the game, and I think he's safe to do so because he sent that Reaper in around the back to check once again, and I don't know if he did, but I would imagine he got a count on the drones there and saw that the natural was heavily saturated. There weren't very many units there. So he knows that Horror has been focusing on drone production for quite some time now.
And he does have a Roach Warren coming up, but you're exactly right. Certainly has the potential to do a little bit of damage here as he presses forward. At the moment, once he gets the economy fully realized, I guess, from this macro CC, and once the extra mules start getting called down.
Yeah, I mean, it gives him the option to do 2 things. He can either do pressure, or he can get that macro CC up and just out macro Horror at exactly what he's doing.
Right.
Horror right now is on 2 base. He thinks he's probably way ahead on the drone count.
He's not. Oh, Roach bailing all in, moving up to, it looks like this guy is just very based around early all-in type play.
Now, is ThorZaIN going to have siege mode done by the time this hits? We've seen him getting very, very late siege mode in almost all of these games. He has no bunkers up. It's going to be very hard for him to actually defend this.
Cute, nice job with the Reaper. Baited a few Zerglings around, so they could be cleaned up by the Hellions there. Boom! Headshot. Here come 13 Roaches at the moment, though.
All right, ThorZaIN, it's make or break time. You got to get some bunkers up. You got to finish that wall, and you need siege mode. Maybe even give up the position at the natural. I don't know.
He's got 2 bunkers actually going up back at home. He's got quite a few units
that are around. Stop attacking the rocks.
Turn around. Oh, and he canceled one of the bunkers as well.
I don't know what he's thinking right now.
Oh, and the banelings are starting to morph in.
I don't know what he's thinking right now.
Give it up. Give it up.
Bring everything back.
Yeah, okay. It looks like
he's so smart.
Yes.
He's so smart. How often do you see a player do that?
Just give up a position.
Just completely give it up.
Supply depots up at the front.
Yeah, I mean, very rarely do you see this happen.
No siege mode even started, though. And here come the banelings.
Oh, God.
And the SCVs were made a little bit of a wall, not the most effective wall against banelings, but the banelings are actually getting targeted down one by one. ThorZaIN just knocking those out of the picture, so he's mitigating the damage from them. The banelings are still going to do some damage, but ThorZaIN mitigated the damage from those. Does he have enough to hold off these Roaches, though?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, these Roaches are so powerful at the moment. More Zerglings are rallying in behind this. No more banelings quite yet, though.
Oh my goodness, I think this might be enough. ThorZaIN going for that late siege once again, or maybe just forgot it again. We don't know, but, you know, he's been getting super late siege in all of these series that we've seen.
Yeah, more units are flooding in at the moment. He calls down 4 mules, so he will have some semblance of an economy here in just a second. And he gets up the wall as well, but he's going to need a lot more units to defend. They're lifting off that orbital command. Should probably just take it over to the left-hand corner for a little while. As he does have the 2 CCs back at home.
Well, he is going to be able to hold on here at the very least. He still doesn't have siege mode coming, though. I don't know why. Yeah, it's still not done.
Actually a good question.
I mean,
he has the resources.
He needs it.
Just do it.
He absolutely needs siege mode right now. I'm so surprised that he hasn't started that upgrade.
All right, drops back down that CC. ThorZaIN's back by about 12 supply at the moment. He's down, though, by a lot of workers. But, of course, with 6 mules on the ground, his economic rate is not that far behind his opponent at the moment.
Yeah. And he really needs to start producing SCVs off of all those command centers.
And Horror actually backs up. He's droning up. He's going up to Spire. So he is giving up the attack at the moment and just going to macro behind this.
The damage was certainly done.
All right, and siege mode is on the way. Huzzah!
Finally. That is the one thing that he needed right there, and he would have been able to target fire some of those banelings in a group without speed, off creep.
I will admit though, while obviously there was just the sheer quantity of units out of Horror, ThorZaIN actually did a very nice job of targeting down banelings.
Yeah, he really did with single target, especially with single target hit scan units,
and really needs to kill that Zergling. It goes down, and our macro orbital command looks like it's going to float its way to the top left eventually. That was the plan, and he'll need to start clearing up those rocks pretty soon, though.
Oh, is he going to poop creep in the top left?
He should.
That would suck.
No Terran bias from Taylor whatsoever there. Ooh, unfortunately, Siege Tank firing on its own units a little bit there. Does some damage, and these destructible rocks will eventually get cleaned up. Layer Tech is obviously done. This poor Overlord could poop some creep. It looks like it's just floating over to the top left.
Well, I mean, I would just hate to see ThorZaIN go down to an all-in like that.
No, I understand. Yeah,
All Terran bias aside, that would suck. Baneling Speed's about to finish up here for Horror, and he has 9 Mutalisks on the way. It's going to be so hard for ThorZaIN to deal with these Mutas.
Let's see here, though. ThorZaIN has done a pretty good job with his macro. Yes, he's still way back in workers, but he's been working off of 3 orbital commands this whole time. Once he managed over a few SCVs off of his main, looks like he's going to be in a great spot. Still triple producing SCVs at the moment as well.
Yeah, but he has absolutely no Mutalisk defense right now. And he doesn't really have the infrastructure to deal with these Mutas. It's going to be so hard. He's actually pushing right now.
Let's see if he forces the Mutas back. That would be one thing, but and it looks like he has for the time being. Engineering Bay is clearly in place as he's already going to +2 weapons and +1 armor. He's got to watch out for his tanks though.
Oh god, and the Lings are going to meet him in the midfield. He really shouldn't have brought his tanks out like that.
Yeah. And
they're all going to go down. So, well, he does save 2.
Looks like he is going to run back home at the moment. ThorZaIN is starting to put up some missile turrets, but it's taking a while.
Yeah, it certainly is.
All right, looks like ThorZaIN now stimming up a few Marines that are sitting up at the front, pulling back to that missile turret, but he has indeed lost every one of his tanks.
Yeah, ThorZaIN's really got to be slapping himself in the face right now. He did not need to move out there. There's no chance of him really ending the game there. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, pushing out all the way across map in a situation like this where he's so far behind.
All right.
But now, I mean, he's just getting overrun, and there it is.
There it is. GG, and ThorZaIN has gone down, and Horror has put QIM just 1 game away from taking Team Arena Challenge Season 1.
是上将。